Hello everyone, welcome to Medical Microbiology. So today we will do exercise for exam number 2, which is over chapter 4, 5, 6, 24 and 25. Okay, instructions for this exercise. For the best results of this exercise, please first study chapter 4, 5, 6, 24, and 25 before taking this exercise. You can read the textbooks, the ebook, or you can watch the video over chapter 4, 5, 6, 24, and 25. So make sure you study first before taking this exercise for best result. Second, prepare some pieces of paper and pen or pencil to write your answer. Third, there will be 2 or 3 seconds after each question to write your answer on paper before the answer key is given and explain. Note, you can always pause the video if you need more time. Fourth, after finish the exercise, check your answers. How many are correct and how many are incorrect. Fifth, repeat the process until you get 100% correct answer. Sixth, make sure that the 100 correct answers are based on your knowledge, not from guessing. 7. It is very likely that you will get a good score on your exam number 2 if you follow this instruction correctly. Okay, are you ready? We'll start our exercise. Okay, question number 1. This is true or false. Prokaryotic cell consists of protozoa and algae. Give your answer. Yes, if you answer false, it is correct. Prokaryotic organisms are bacteria and archaea. They do not have nucleus. Okay, protozoa and algae are protista. They are organisms that have nucleus. So they are eukaryote, not prokaryote. Okay, number 2. 3 basic cells shapes are A. Spherical, cylindrical, and cubical. B. Coccus, spirillum, and bacillus. C. Prokaryotic, archaeatic, and eukaryotic. D. Plant, fungi, and animal. E. Eukarya, archaea, and bacteria. Okay, please choose your answer. Yes, if you answer A, spherical, cylindrical, and cubicles, you are correct. So this is 3 basic cell shape, any cell, okay, not only bacterial cell, but all type of cell, including human cells, animal cell, plant cell. They are actually 3 basic shape, which is round, okay, like spherical, and cylindrical, which is long cell, and cubical, like a cube, okay, square cell. Okay, number 3. 3 basics bacterial cell shapes are, so this is asking now bacterial, okay? This is specific for bacterial cell shape are A. Spherical, cylindrical, and cubical. B. Coccus, spirillum, bacillus. C. Prokaryotic, archaeatic, and eukaryotic. D. Plant, fungi, and animal. E. Eukarya, archaea, and bacteria. Okay, choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be B. Coccus, spirillum, and bacillus. So for bacterial cell shape, they have special shape. The first special shape is called coccus, round. Okay, it has special name, it's called coccus. Second is spirillum, look like a spiral. Okay, and third is bacillus, look like rod. Okay, long cell. So again, for bacteria, they have special name for their shape: coccus, bacillus, and spirillum. Okay, now number 4. Which of the following is not a characteristic of cell or living things? A. Metabolisms. B. Respond to stimulus. C. Reproduction. D. Growth. E. Cell envelope or boundary. Which one is not characteristic of cell or living things? Okay, choose your answer. Okay, if your answer is E, okay, cell envelope or boundary, it is correct because this cell envelope and boundary is not characteristic of cell or living things. Because non-living things, they also sometimes have envelope and boundary. Like for example, virus. Virus is not living thing, but they do have cell envelope or boundary. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Metabolism is characteristic of living. All living things perform metabolism, okay, which is all chemical reaction inside the cell. All living things will respond to the stimulus. Okay, some plant, for example, they respond to light. Okay, that's the reason why they going up because looking for the sunlight. All living things will reproduce. Okay, and all living things will be growing, become bigger. Okay, so again, the correct answer, okay, should be E, cell envelope and boundary. It is not characteristic of living. Okay, number 5. Which of the following make possible the differentiation of members of genus Mycobacterium and the genus or Nocardia from other bacteria? A. The gram stain. B. The acid-fast stain. C. The Flagella. D. The Endospores. And E. The axial filament. Okay, give your answer. If you answer B, it is correct. The acid-fast staining. Remember, Mycobacterium is a special bacteria that have special envelope, special cell wall. The special cell wall cannot be stained with the gram stain. Okay, and also Mycobacterium, they do not have flagella, endospore, or axial filament. You cannot choose that. Okay, you cannot choose flagella, endospore, and axial filament because Mycobacterium do not have this structure. And Mycobacterium has special cell wall that you cannot perform gram stain. So gram stain will be wrong answer. Okay, so the correct answer is the acid-fast stain, which is this is special staining method to identify group of Mycobacterium, including Mycobacterium tuberculosis, okay, the TB bacteria. Okay, number 6. The basic or primary dye used in bacterial gram staining is A. Safranin, B. Crystal violet, C. Lugols, D. Iodine, and E. Alcohol. Choose your answer. Okay, the answer will be crystal violet. Okay, if you have performed the experiments, gram staining experiment, you should be able to answer this question because you performed this experiment several times. Okay, gram staining. Start with the crystal violet, okay, and then put rinse with water, put iodine, right, and then rinse with water, put alcohol, and the counter stain will be the next step, which is put the saffron in, rinse with water again. So the first stain or the primary dye will be the crystal violet. For gram-positive bacteria, they will retain this crystal violet. Therefore, the result will be blue or purple color. This is gram-positive bacteria. Gram-negative bacteria will not retain the crystal violet. It will be removed by the alcohol. And then after alcohol, remember, you're going to put saffron in. Therefore, the gram-negative bacteria will retain the saffron in. The color will be pink or red, which is the color of saffron. Okay, number 7. The counter stain used in bacterial gram staining is A. Saffronin, B. Crystal violet, C. Lugols, D. Iodine, and E. Alcohol. Choose your answer. Okay, the answer should be saffronin. Okay, I already mentioned this. Okay, I already explained this on the previous question, which is the crystal violet is the primary dye, and then the counter stain will be saffronin. And this is the one that make the gram-negative bacteria to retain this saffronin. Okay, so gram-negative bacteria will be red or pink. The gram-positive bacteria will retain the crystal violet. The color will be blue or purple. Okay, number 8 is true and false again. The primary component of prokaryotic cell wall is peptidoglycan. True or false? Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be true. And remember this, always remember this. For the prokaryotic cell, the cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. This is very important. Make sure you remember that bacteria cell, they have cell wall made of peptidoglycan. And then there are two types of bacteria, okay, based on peptidoglycan. The first one is going to be gram-positive. It will have very thick peptidoglycan. And the gram-negative, it has very thin peptidoglycan. Gram-positive will be blue with the gram staining, and gram-negative bacteria will be red with the gram staining procedure. Okay, number 9. Okay. Gram-positive bacteria have thicker cell wall compared to gram-negative bacteria. True or false? Choose your answer. Yes, the answer is true. I just explained this on the previous question, that gram-positive bacteria have a very thick peptidoglycan, and it will be stained purple or blue with gram staining procedures. Okay, number 10. Okay, multiple choices now. A prokaryotic cell wall that is primarily composed of peptidoglycan with small amount of teichoic acid and lipoteichoic acid is A. Gram-positive bacteria, B. Gram-negative bacteria, C. Archaea, D. Staphylococcus aureus, E. Streptococcus pyogenes. Choose your answer. Yes. The answer is gram-positive bacteria, which is it has very thick, again, very thick peptidoglycan with small amount of other component like teichoic acid and lipoteichoic acid. Okay, that should be the answer. Now, I just want to tell you that Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus pyogenes, they are actually also gram-positive bacteria. So if you answer D and E, it might be correct too. If you really know that Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus pyogenes are actually gram-positive bacteria. But this is general question, okay, and it needs general answer, which is gram-positive bacteria. Okay, fill in the blank. So this one really needs your knowledge. Okay, you have to study in order to be answer or to write the question in it. Okay, number 11. The external structure of bacteria used for movement is called blank. Choose your answer or write your answer. Yes, it's gonna be flagella or axial filament. Okay, so again, study the prokaryotic cell structure. They do have flagella for movement. Some of them have axial filament for movement. If it is flagella, remember this is bacteria, they will move by rotating their flagella, not whipping, rotating the flagella. This is for bacteria or prokaryotic cell, rotating flagella. Okay, so I repeat this again. They rotate their flagella in order to move. Okay, number 12. An example of motility or movement structure of bacteria is A. Fimbriae, B. Pili, C. Flagella, D. Capsule, E. Slime layer. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be flagella. Okay, we just have this type of questions on previous question, okay, which is the movement structure or the motility structure of bacteria, okay, flagella or axial filament. So you only have flagella over here, so you have to choose flagella. Remember, Fimbriae is for attachment, okay? Pili is for channel, okay, to transfer something from one bacteria to another bacteria. Capsule is for protection. Okay, this is the outer layer. Okay, outside the cell wall, some bacteria have capsule, very solid layer. And slime layer, it is similar to capsule, but it is a little bit gelatin. And mostly slime layer can be used for attachment and also for making a community, what we call the biofilm. Okay, biofilm formation. This is slime layer. Okay, number 13. Peritrichous bacteria are bacteria that have many flagella on one side of their cell. One side of their cell. True or false? Choose your answer. The answer should be false. Okay, peri mean around. Trichous mean flagella. So this bacteria should have the flagella around its cell. So it means that a lot of flagella, and this flagella kind of surrounding their cell and all part of the cell, not only on one side. Okay, so these peritrichous bacteria are bacteria that have many flagella on all sides of their cell. Now, if one side, many in one side is called Lophotrichus. Okay, Lophotrichus is many flagella in one side. If it is only one flagella in one side, then it is called Monotrichus. Okay, so Monotrichus, one flagella in one side. Many flagella in one side is called Lophotrichus. Many flagella in all sides of the cell is called Peritrichus. Okay, fill in the blank. Number 14. A solid glycocalyx structure used by bacteria for protection, to protect against phagocyte, is called solid. Remember, solid glycocalyx. What do you call that? Write your answer. The answer should be capsule. Okay, remember, capsule is a solid glycocalyx. Another type of glycocalyx is slime layer, which is not solid. Okay, so if it is not solid, then it is called slime layer. But if it is solid, it's called glycocalyx. And the primary function of capsule is protection against phagocyte. Phagocyte is white blood cell that try to kill bacteria. So bacteria that have capsule will be able to protect themselves against white blood cell, the phagocytes. Okay, again, fill in the blank. Number 15. A hair-like structure used by bacteria to attach on the host cell is called blank. Write your answer. Yes, you should answer or put the answer Fimbriae. Yeah, remember Fimbriae is attachment structure for bacteria. Fimbriae. Okay, attachment structure for bacteria. Number 16, fill in the blank. The channel structure used by bacteria to transfer resistant gene is called blah. Write your answer. Yes, should be pili if it is more than one, or pilus if it is only one channel. So the channel structure is called pili or pilus. The attachment structure is called Fimbriae. Okay, the motility structure is called flagella or axial movement. Okay, the glycocalyx is called capsule or slime layer. Okay, make sure that's the outer structure of bacteria or prokaryotic cell. Now, true and false. Escherichia coli or coli, or sometimes called the E. coli, begins to colonize by establishing infestation in human lungs. True or false? Yeah, it should be false. The name is telling you. Coli means colon. What is colon? Colon is large intestine. So therefore, E. coli, they begin to colonize by establishing infestation in human colon, in human large intestine. Sometimes, you can also just say in human intestine, but mostly they actually located in the large intestine. Another name for large intestine is colon. E. coli, they live in colon. Okay, number 18. All the following structure contribute to the ability of pathogenic bacteria to cause disease except Fimbriae, pili, inclusion, capsule, and slime layer. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be inclusion. Okay, inclusion is not pathogenic structure. It will not causing infection or causing disease to the host cell. Fimbriae, yes, it will cause infection or disease because fimbriae is used for attachment on the cell, the host cell. Pili is used for transferring some gene from one cell to another cell, and it will increase the ability to having disease, okay, making auto or transfer the disease. Inclusion is not. Okay, inclusion is just a structure inside the bacterial cell used for storage. Capsule, of course, remember capsule is used by bacteria for protection against host cell immune system, white blood cell. And slime layer, remember, it is used for attachment and also for making biofilm, which is attracting many bacteria to come to the infection site. Okay, so again, the correct answer for this one is inclusion. Inclusion is not is the structure that will not contribute for the pathogenic activity or causing the disease. Okay, number 19. Bacteria that produce endospore are easy to control or to destroy or to kill. True or false? Yeah, the answer should be false. Remember, endospore is actually the most difficult structure of bacteria to be controlled. So it's not easy to destroy the endospore. It is not easy to remove or destroy the endospore. We need sterilization in order to destroy the endospore. So the endospore is the highest resistant against chemical control or maybe against radiation. Okay. Number 20. Endospores are metabolically inactive living structure which are resistant to heat, chemicals, and radiation. True or false? Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be true. Okay, so bacteria that able to produce endospore like Clostridium bacteria, Bacillus bacteria, they able to produce endospores when the condition is not favorable for them to live. So this endospore is just like a dormant structure. So the dormant structure that produced by some bacteria. So during this type of cycle, okay, which is sporulation cycle or endospore cycle, the bacteria is actually inactive. They are dormant, but they can stay for long time. Even some endospore can stay for million years. Okay, so they can stay for million years, and when the condition is favorable, they can then produce the living bacteria, the active bacteria. Okay, Bacillus, number 21. Okay, Bacillus sporosarcina or china and Clostridium are bacteria that undergo sporulation when the condition is not suitable for them to grow and reproduce. True or false? That's true. I just mentioned to you there are several bacteria. Actually, these three type of bacteria, Bacillus sporosarcina and Clostridium, they produce endospore. They produce endospore, and that cycle is called the sporulation. Sporulation is when this bacteria undergo or making endospore, undergo dormancy. This is called the sporulation, producing the endospore. So only these three type of bacteria that produce endospore: Bacillus, Sporocercina, and Clostridium. Okay. Example of species of Bacillus is Bacillus anthracis. Okay, Bacillus anthracis is a species of Bacillus that causing anthrax. Okay, so this species of bacteria, okay, Bacillus anthracis, they actually produce spores, okay, or endospores. And number 22, biofilm is colony of several microbial groups that can build on living and non-living things. True or false? Yes, this is actually true. Okay, so biofilm is a product of some bacteria, and it will invite other bacteria, okay, to stay on that condition. So just like a favorable conditions for many bacteria to grow. And this biofilm is actually, okay, can be produced and built on living object. Like for example, around the teeth, around the gums, there will be a lot of biofilm produced by some bacteria and causing some other bacteria to come to join and to stay there. And this actually biofilm can be also built in non-living things. Like for example, the equipment that is used by dentists, okay, to clean the teeth, it might be contaminated with this biofilm. And then if it is not clean very good, then there should be biofilm built on that dentist equipment, dental equipment, and it will maybe become the way some bacteria transfer from one patient to another patient. That's the reason why in the dental office they have equipment to sterilize their dental equipment. Okay, so like for example, they have autoclave, autoclave to sterilize their dental equipments. Okay. Okay, number 23, Coccobacillus are rot bacteria that arrange in chains-like structure. The answer is false. Remember, you have to read about shape and arrangement of bacteria. Okay, remember there are three main shape of bacterial cell. Round is called coccus, rod, bacillus, and spiral is spirillum. That's the shape, three shape. And there is arrangement. Like for example, if it is chains-like structure, then it is called the strepto. So streptobacillus or streptococcus, it means that there are many bacteria. If it is streptococcus, round bacteria that combine together to make long chains. If it is streptobacillus, then many long bacteria or rod bacteria making the chain-like structure. That's streptobacillus. Okay, the question is coccobacillus. Coccobacillus arranged in chain-like structure. It is not correct because chain-like structure is strepto. So the answer should be streptobacillus. Okay, so cocco is not chain-like structure. What is cocco actually? Cocco is some group of rod bacteria, Coccobacillus, bacillus bacteria or rod bacteria that arrange together in formation of short plumb structure. It's very short plumb structure, not long chain-like structure. Okay. Number 25. Archaea are thermophilic, psychrophilic, acidophilic, halophilic, and barophilic. True or false? Give your answer. Yes, the answer is true. Remember, Archaea is a type of bacteria that living in the extreme condition. They love extreme condition. What is thermophilic mean? Phil, okay, just for information, phil mean love. Okay, maybe you know Philadelphia. That's actually brotherly love city. So there is phil over there, philic, love. So thermophilic is mean that they love hot condition, which is yes, Archaea love to live in the extremely hot condition or environment. Psychrophilic. Psychro mean very cold. So there are some Archaea, they also live in the extremely cold environment. Maybe they live, for example, in Anchorage, in the North Pole or South Pole. So it's going to be psychrophilic bacteria. It's going to be Archaea. Acidophilic. Acid in very acid. Philic mean love. So they love in very acidic condition. So this is also Archaea. They maybe love to live in area that is used after the mining. So the mining area, sometimes they produce acid condition. So the water on that area may be very acidic. And there are some Archaea that live there because this Archaea love to live in acidic condition. Halophilic. Halo means salt, salty. So this Archaea, there are some Archaea that really like to live in the very salty environment. Barophilic. Baro means atmospheric temperature, in a very high pressures of temperature. So again, this is the characteristic of Archaea. They love to live in extreme condition. There are some Archaea live in a very hot water. There are some Archaea actually live in a very cold condition. There are some Archaea that live in acidic condition or salty condition or maybe high atmospheric pressure condition. So this is true. Okay, number 25. The structure inside the eukaryotic cell that resembles A. Prokaryotic cell, A. Mitochondria and chloroplast. True or false? Choose your answer. Yes, it is true. Okay, remember the theory of evolution of eukarya. Okay, eukarya is the cell that have nucleus and many organelles, including animal cell, protista cell, protozoa, algae, plant, fungi. They all have nucleus plus many organelles. Remember the theory that the eukaryotic cell is actually combination of 2 or 3 prokaryotic cells. So one bigger, the other will be smaller, and the smaller one enter into the bigger prokaryotic cell, and then the smaller cell inside the bigger cell, change into organelles. And the proof is that mitochondria and chloroplast, they have chromosomes. They have DNA inside them. There are DNA or chromosome inside mitochondria, and there are DNA or chromosome inside the chloroplast. And this is, is used as a proof that mitochondria and chloroplast used to be smaller prokaryotic cells that is actually trapped inside a bigger prokaryotic cell. So this mitochondria and chloroplast very resembles with prokaryotic cell structure. They have chromosome, but no nucleus. Mitochondria, chloroplast, prokaryotic cell, they do not have nucleus. Okay, true and false. Flagella and cilia are attachment structure used by eukaryotic cell. Choose your answer. Nope. The answer is false. Okay, flagella and cilia is actually motility structure or movement structure of eukaryotic cell. No, we're talking about eukaryotic cell now. Okay, remember before that we talked about prokaryotic cell. The flagella, and cilia are actually motility or movement structure of eukaryotic cell. Now remember, in prokaryotic cell, okay, the movement structure is also flagella and axial filament, not cilia. Eukaryotic cell have flagella and cilia. Prokaryotic cell has flagella and axial filament. So these are actually motility or movement structure, not attachment structure. Okay, number 27. The eukaryotic cell's glycocalyx is made of proteins. True or false? Yeah, the answer is false. Okay, the eukaryotic cell glycocalyx is made of carbohydrate or polysaccharide. Now, how do you know? It's easy, if you know the terminology. Gluco mean sugar or carbohydrates. So this structure is actually made of glyco, made of carbohydrate, made of polysaccharide. Saccharide mean glucose or sugar. Glyco means sugar. Glucose means sugar. Okay? That's telling you. The name is sometimes telling you what is the structure made of. Number 28. Chromatin, DNA, and nucleolus are found in the cytoplasm. True or false? Choose your answer. The answer should be false, okay, because this chromatin, DNA, and nucleolus are actually found inside the nucleus. So nucleus, it has chromatin, which is actually become chromosome, DNA, and the nucleus. Okay? All of these structures are found in the nucleus. Number 29. The site for protein synthesis is the A. Nucleus, mitochondria, ribosome, chloroplast, or smooth ER. Choose your answer. Okay, the answer should be ribosomes, C. Now, in this case, you have to study the organelles of the eukaryotic cell. Organelles, the name and their function. The one that used for protein synthesis is ribosomes. Number 30. The organelle that contain cristae and used as a site for energy or ATP synthesis is the nucleus, mitochondria, ribosome, chloroplast, and smooth ER. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be mitochondria. Mitochondria is a unique organelle. It has two layers. Okay, the outer layer is very smooth, but the inside layer look like a wavy layer. It's called cristae. So cristae is a wavy layer, inside layer of the mitochondria. And the function of mitochondria is to produce energy, which is ATP. So ATP is produced by mitochondria. Okay, so mitochondria sometimes is also called as the power plant inside the cell because they produce the energy. Okay, number 31. The structure used to differentiate algae from protozoa is A. Nucleus, mitochondria, ribosome, cell wall, or RER. Choose your answer. The answer should be cell wall, because both algae and protozoa has nucleus. Both of them have mitochondria. Both of them have ribosome. Both of them has rough ER. But only algae that has cell wall. Protozoa do not have cell wall. Okay? So that's the structure that has to be used for distinguishing between algae and protozoa. Okay? Another structure will be chloroplast, because protozoa do not have chloroplast while algae have chloroplast. So just for information over here, okay, remember that there are group of organisms that have cell wall. The first one, bacteria. Bacteria have cell wall, and the cell wall made of peptidoglycan. Remember that. Okay, I already mentioned to you that bacteria cell wall made of peptidoglycan. Okay, fungi, they also have cell wall, but the cell wall is made of chitin or chitin, which is a protein. Okay? And then algae have the cell wall, is made of cellulose. And plant cell, they also have cell wall, is made of cellulose. Now, if you see that for group of organisms that have cell wall, two of them, okay, have chloroplast, which is algae and the plant. So only algae and the plants that able to produce their own food. So they are considered as autotroph. Auto means self, troph means food. They able to produce their own food. Algae and plant. Okay? Animal and protozoa. Okay? This is two type of organism that do not have cell wall. No cell wall at all. Animals and protozoa. And of course, they also do not have chloroplast. Animals, protozoa do not have cell wall, do not have chloroplast. So study this, learn this, because there are many questions that will ask you about this structure on different type of organisms. Okay, number 32. Which of the following organisms have cell wall made of cellulose? Bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi, and animal. Choose your answer. Yes, I just mentioned to you, algae is the one that have cell wall made of cellulose. Plant also have a cell wall that made of cellulose. Of course, you will not choose animal, okay, because animal do not have cell wall. So the correct answer will be algae. Bacteria is not correct because their cell wall made of peptidoglycan. Okay, protozoa is incorrect because they do not have cell wall. Fungi is incorrect because the cell wall of fungi made of chitin. Okay, number 33. The structure used to differentiate between algae from fungi is nucleus, mitochondria, ribosome, cell wall, or chloroplast. Choose your answer. Yes, okay, the answer should be chloroplast. Okay, remember, algae and fungi, both of them have cell wall, so you cannot use this cell wall for differentiation, at least for general differentiation. Nucleus, both of them have nucleus. Mitochondria, both of them have mitochondria. Ribosome, both of them has a ribosome. Chloroplast, only algae and plant have chloroplast. Fungi do not have chloroplast. So if you see under the microscope there is a chloroplast, then you know there will be algae, not fungi. Okay? Chloroplast is the structure that is used for distinguishing algae and fungi. Now, how about number 34? The organelle that consists of grana, stack of thylakoid membrane, and used as the site for photosynthesis is the A. Nucleus, mitochondria, ribosome, chloroplast, and smooth ER. Choose your answer. Okay, the answer should be chloroplast. Again, you have to study the organelles inside the eukaryotic cell. There are one organelle that only present in algae and plant that is used for photosynthesis. It is called the chloroplast. And the chloroplast, if you see using the electron microscope, you're going to see the stack of thylakoid membrane. That stack is called grana. So there are grana that actually carry the chlorophyll, the green pigment, and this chlorophyll is used for making food, or used for photosynthesis. Synthesis food by help of photo or light energy. Using light energy to produce something. Therefore, the process is called photosynthesis. Synthesis something using light energy, and it is only done by chloroplast. Number 35. Bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and animals are autotrophic organisms. True or false? Choose your answer. The answer should be false. Remember, autotroph means they able to make their own food. Auto means self, trophic means food, which is only organism that have chloroplast that able to perform this autotrophic activity, which is photosynthesis. So plants and algae. So bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and animals, they do not have chloroplast. So therefore, they are not autotrophic. What we call them? We call them heterotrophic. Hetero means other, trophic means food. It means that this organism like bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and animal have to get the food or the nutrient from other. Therefore, bacteria, they become parasite because they take the nutrient from their host. Protozoa, some protozoa, like animal, they able to eat other smaller organism. Fungi, they actually absorb the nutrient from dead living materials. So therefore, you see fungi, they usually live on the dead bark of tree, for example, because they actually absorbing the nutrient from. They cannot make their own food. They are not autotroph. Animals, animals they eat. They eat other organism in order to take the food or nutrient. Again, any organism that cannot make their own food is called heterotrophic organism. Any organism that able to make their own food is called autotrophic organism. Example of autotrophic organism will be plants and algae. Example of heterotrophic organism will be other organism like bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and animals. Number 36. Algae and plants are heterotrophic organism. True or false? Of course, it is false. Again, algae and plants are autotrophic organisms. They're able to make their own food because they have chloroplast. They're able to perform photosynthesis. Number 37. Which of the following organisms have both cell wall and chloroplast? Choose. Bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi, and animal. Choose your answer. Of course, it should be algae. Remember again, this study, algae and plant is the one that have cell wall and also chloroplast. Bacteria have cell wall, no chloroplast. Protozoa, they don't even have cell wall and also no chloroplast. Fungi, they do have cell wall but no chloroplast. Animals, no cell wall, no chloroplast. Number 38. Chloroplasts are organelles used by algae and plant for protein synthesis. Choose your answer. It should be false. It is not protein synthesis. It is photosynthesis, which is making food. Protein synthesis is made in ribosomes. Remember that. Organelle that make protein is called ribosome, not chloroplast. Chloroplast is photosynthesis. 39. Fungi that do not produce sexual spores are classified in the phylum Zygomycota, Ascomycota, Basidiomycota, and Deuteromycota. Choose your answer. The answer should be Deuteromycota. Okay, now you have to study fungi classification here. Zygo, Asco, Basidio are type of sexual spore. Zygospore, Ascospore, Basidiospores. All of these three are type of sexual spores. Therefore, the one that have sexual spore will be included whether in Zygomycota, Ascomycota, or Basidiomycota. So they have sexual spores. How about Deuteromycota? This is for imperfect fungi. The fungi that do not have or do not produce sexual spores. It is included in the Deuteromycota. Example is yeast. Okay, yeast are fungi that do not produce sexual spores. So they are in the group or in the phylum of Deuteromycota. 40. Filamentous fungi are called septa, mycelium, molds, or yeast. Choose your answer. Yes, they are called molds. So molds, if you see molds on the bread, growing on the bread, they actually, if you use a microscope, you will be able to see filaments, long filaments, okay, that arranged together, okay, and finally, when there are so many, you can see with your own eyes. It is in the form of molds. So molds are filamentous fungi. 41. Non-filamentous fungi are called septa, mycelium, molds, or yeast. Choose your answer. Yes, they are yeast. So yeast actually is not long type of fungi. It is not filament. It is just one cell, or maybe if it is combined, maybe only 2, 3, or 4 cells. That's it. It's not long filament. Okay, so it's only one individual yeast, or maybe 2, 3 combined together. Okay, so this is yeast, non-filamentous. Now, 42. Yeast that has buds remain attached and form a chain is called hyphae, pseudohyphae, molds, or mycelium. Choose your answer. The answer is pseudohyphae. Pseudohyphae mean filaments, long filaments. Pseudohyphae is mean it look like filament because there are 2 or 3 of yeast cell combined together. They attach and form a chain, but the chain is very, very short, not long. Therefore, the name is fake filament or pseudohyphae. 43. General infections caused by fungi are called A. Mycosis, bacteriosis, archariasis, filariasis, or elephantiasis. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be mycosis. Okay, myco means fungi. So, disease that caused by fungi is gonna be called mycosis. Just like, disease caused by bacteria, okay, in general is called the bacteriosis. Disease that caused by a type of worm, okay, parasitic worm, is called the ascaris. Then it's gonna be ascariasis. If it is caused by another type of worm, okay, filariasis. And then elephantiasis is also caused by worms that actually block the lymphatic system on the lower part of human body. So the leg or the foot of that human become very, very big because the water, okay, the lymphatic system clog. So their leg, people that have this disease, okay, parasite, it will have a very big leg, like elephant foot or elephant legs. Okay. 44. Parasitic worm is included in the kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Choose your answer. Yes, worms are animal, so they are in the kingdom of Animalia. Okay, so worms are animal. Okay. Number 45. Viruses are measured in, while bacteria measured in blank. Okay, choose your answer. A, millimeter and micrometer. B, micrometer, nanometer. C, nanometer, micrometer. D, nanometer, millimeter. E, millimeter, nanometer. Choose your answer. Okay, you have to study about the size of microorganism. Viruses are very small. They are measured in nanometer. Okay, so nanometer. You cannot use microscope, because microscope, okay, its name is telling you the light microscope is micrometer. Okay, so micrometer, which is for bacteria. You still be able to see bacteria using the light microscope because bacteria measure in micrometer. So virus in nanometer, bacteria in micrometer, which is C. Okay, nanometer, micrometer. Now, how about like an ants? Okay? An ants, they are measured in millimeter because you can see with your naked eyes. Okay? So millimeter is kind of bigger. Okay, human, they are measured in meter. Okay? Or sometimes it's called foot. Okay? Over here they measure in feet, 4 feet, but in some area they actually measure with meter, like 1.5 meter, for example. Number 46. Viruses that can damage the fetus or embryo are called as viruses. A, teratogenic. B, chronic. C, lytic. D, lysogenic. And E, oncogenic. Choose your answer. The answer will be teratogenic. Terato means embryo or fetus. So this virus able to destroy or damage the embryo. Okay, some virus have this ability to destroy the embryo. Viruses that trigger cancer are called as viruses. A, teratogenic. B, chronic. C, lytic. D, lysogenic. And E, oncogenic. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer will be oncogenic. Onco means tumor or cancer. So virus that trigger tumor or cancer is called the oncogenic virus. Example is the ABV viruses, Epstein-Barr viruses, which is herpes virus type number 4. That can cause cancer called the Burkitt lymphoma. Another example is the Hep B viruses, hepatitis B viruses. This virus can trigger liver cancer. Okay, so this type of virus is called oncogenic viruses. Number 48. An example of persistent infection of animal virus is A, teratogenic, B, chronic, lytic, lysogenic, and oncogenic. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer should be chronic. Okay, teratogenic is causing damage in the embryo. Lytic is acute, not persistent. So lytic is acute type of infection. Lysogenic, it is persistent infection, but it is not in animal viruses. It is in bacterial viruses. Okay, virus that infect bacteria. Oncogenic is virus that trigger tumor or cancer. So the answer will be chronic. Okay, in animal viruses, like virus that infect human. Remember, there are two types actually persistent infection. One is called the chronic, and the other one is called latent. Okay, latency. Okay, so latent and chronic. Okay, so because you only have chronic over here, then the answer will be chronic infection. Okay, again, it is not lysogenic. Lysogenic is special name of persistent infection for bacterial viruses. 49. Blank are the structure used by animal viruses for attachment. A. Virions. B. Nucleic acid. C. Prions. D. Capsid. E. Spikes. This is your answer. Yes, it should be spikes. Spikes is the attachment structure for animal viruses. The virus that attach or attack animal, that causing disease to animal, including human. I mean the attachment structure, again, the attachment structure is called spike. Compared to the bacteria, okay, bacteria attachment structure is called fimbriae. Remember that, okay? So fimbriae for bacteria, spikes for viruses. Okay, number 50. The outer layer of a virus that consists of protein and used for protection is called. Write your answer. Yes, it's called capsid. Capsid or capsomers. So capsid is actually made of capsomer. Capsomer is a group of protein. So every virus will have capsid. Will have capsomer that protect the virus. Remember, all virus will have capsid and nucleic acid, whether DNA or RNA. These are the two main components of viruses, capsid and nucleic acid. Some viruses have envelope, some viruses do not have envelope. So envelope is additional structure that only present in some viruses, not in another type of viruses. But capsid and nucleic acid will be present in all type of viruses. Okay, the inside part of virus that consists of nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA, is called. Write your answer. This is 51. Yes, it's called the central core. Remember, the two main components of all viruses is called capsid and central core. Nucleic acid core, that's another name. So capsid and nucleic acid core or central core. Inside is called central core. Okay, 52. Based on nucleic acid, there are two types of viruses, blank and blank viruses. Write your answer. Okay, remember there are only two types of nucleic acid, DNA and RNA. Okay, therefore, based on this nucleic acids, there will be two types of viruses. Viruses that carry DNA and viruses that carry RNA. Okay, which of the following phase is only exists in bacterial or plant viruses? Okay, 53. Now we comparing, there are two types of virus. Okay, the one that attack human and animal is called the animal viruses. The one that attack plant or bacteria is called the bacterial or plant viruses. So both of them have 6 stages of their life cycle. There are 6 stages, of their life cycle. But there are a little bit different between the bacterial viruses and animal viruses. So which one is that? So there are 7 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Absorption, penetration, uncoating, synthesis, assembly, maturation, or release. Choose your answer. Which one is only exists in bacterial virus stage. Yes, only maturation. So maturation is only exists in bacterial viruses, not in animal viruses. Okay, look at the bacteriophage or bacterial virus life cycle. Consists of 6 stages. The first one, of course, absorption. Okay, there will gonna be absorption is the same as attachment. The second one, yes, penetration. Okay. The third, they do not have uncoating because uncoating only present in animal virus. The third will be synthesis. So they produce their own DNA, RNA, okay, capsid, okay, inside the host cell, which is bacteria. And then the fourth will be assembly, and the fifth will be maturation. Okay, they do have maturation and release from the cell, from bacteria. Usually, when they release, they will kill bacteria. It's called the lytic. Okay, lytic release or lytic phase. Now, how about for in animal viruses? Which of the following phases only exists in animal viruses? Absorption, penetration, uncoating, synthesis, assembly, maturation, or release. Which one is only in animal viruses? Choose your answer. Yeah, the answer will be uncoating. Will be uncoating. This is very specific for animal virus. It is not present in bacterial viruses. Now look again, the 6 stages of life cycle for animal viruses. Of course, the same absorption or attachment will be present in animal virus and also bacterial virus. Penetration, yes, will be present in both type of virus, animal virus and the bacterial virus. Uncoating, yeah, this is only in animal viruses. Okay, bacterial virus will not have uncoating. Synthesis, of course, both of them have synthesis. Assembly, yes, both of them will have assembly. So it should be on the number 5 should be assembly, and number 6 will be release. And then the one that do not have is maturation. I think that the line is in the wrong place over here. So again, this is in the wrong place. Assembly should be number 5. Maturation should be cross because animal virus do not have maturation. And the last stage will be release. Again, take a note over here. Okay, I make a mistake over here. So I cross the wrong choice. Okay, the one that should be crossed is maturation because maturation is only present in bacterial viruses. So stage number 5 should be assembly. Okay, again, stage number 5 should be assembly. Number 55, a type of persistent infection that show a symptom and sign all the time is called what? Write your answer. Yes, it is called chronic infection. Okay, remember there are 2 types of persistent infection in animal virus. In virus that infect human, for example. And the first type of persistent infection is a chronic infection, which is the sign and symptoms are present all the time. Like, for example, if a virus causing hepatitis B, the patient will have this virus and will have the disease for a long time. It's a chronic infection, and you will see the sign and symptom of hepatitis B on this person. Like, for example, their skin color may be yellowish, okay, jaundice, yeah, because that hepatitis B virus actually destroy their liver cell, okay, causing jaundice, causing some nausea, causing some discomfort on their body, on their joint, for example. That's the sign and symptom present all the time, chronic infection. Number 56. This is asking you another type of persistent infection that show the symptom and sign only during the outbreak is called blah. Write your answer. Yes, it is called latency or latent infection. Example is herpes. Herpes viruses, they are actually persistent inside our body, but mostly they are dormant. They are do not give sign and symptom until the outbreak time. Like for example, cold sore. For example, cold sore is caused by the herpes simplex number 1. Human, herpes simplex virus number 1. And this virus mostly dormant inside our nervous system and give the sign and symptom of disease during the outbreak time. So you see the skin, of the patient, and the cold, in the mouth, it's called the cold sore. So this is latent or latency. Only give sign and symptom during the outbreak time. 57. Viruses that have envelope acquire the envelope around their nuclear capsid during when? During what stage of life cycle? Attachment, uncoating, synthesis, assembly, or release? Choose your answer. Yes, of course, during release, because when the animal viruses attack human cell, when they release from the cell, then they will carry the cell membrane of the host cell. So during the release, and this cell membrane of the host cell then become the envelope of that viruses. So the animal viruses, they actually acquire or getting their envelope, actually coming from the cell membrane of the host cell. Number 58, bacteriophage or prophage use blah for attachment. Spike, fimbriae, capsid, capsid head, tail fiber, or pili. Choose your answer. Should be tail fibers. Why is not spikes? Remember, spikes only present in animal viruses, which is virus that have envelope. So they do have spike for attachment. Bacteriophage, they are naked viruses. They do not have spike. They do not have envelope. So therefore, they use tail fiber for attachment. How about fimbriae? Remember, fimbriae is for virus, for bacteria, not for viruses. Capsid head, they do not use for attachment, for bacteriophage. They use the tail fiber. Pili, it is part of the bacteria, not viruses. And pili is used for transfer genetic material. True and false. 59. Prophage always lies the host cell. True or false? Choose your answer. The answer is false, because sometimes, the bacteriophage or the virus that attack bacteria, they do not always destroy the bacterial cell, or called the lytic stage or phase, but sometimes they also can undergo another stage. It's called the lysogeny. Lysogeny, it is like a persistent infection, but it is for bacterial viruses. So they do not always, they not always destroy the bacteria. Sometimes they stay in the bacterial cell for a long time, and this persistent infection in bacterial virus is called the lysogeny. Number 60. In general, most DNA viruses multiply in the nucleus of the host cell, while the RNA viruses multiply in the cytoplasm of the host cell. True or false? The answer is true. Remember, DNA, let's say in human cell, DNA are located inside the nucleus. Therefore, when the DNA viruses enter into our cell, into human cell, this DNA will enter into the nucleus. Why? Because only inside the nucleus has the machinery, has the enzyme that can be used by the DNA to produce something, to multiply, for example, or to produce the RNA with the process called the transcription. So the DNA viruses has to enter the nucleus in order to use the machinery of the host cell. While the RNA viruses, they do not enter the nucleus. Because what? Because RNA, they able to use the machinery like ribosomes of the host cell or enzymes in the host cell in order to multiply or in order to make capsid spikes, for example. So these RNA viruses will multiply, will perform action in the cytoplasm. Number 61. Oncogenic viruses are the viruses that can trigger cancer. Example are zoster viruses, human papilloma viruses, herpes simplex virus 2, and Epstein-Barr virus number 5. Yes, the correct answer is true. So there are some viruses that are able to trigger cancer, and these are the example of them. Like human papilloma viruses can cause maybe cervical cancer to women. EBV can cause cancer, is called the Burkitt lymphoma cancer. Number 62. Parvoviruses are the only type of single-stranded DNA viruses. True or false? It is true. So remember, this is the very unique type of viruses. Usually, DNA they are double-stranded. 2 strand, double helix. But this virus, the parvoviruses, they actually carry single-stranded DNA. So this is true. Parvovirus is the only type of single-stranded DNA viruses. Very unique and very rare. Number 63, parvoviruses cause fifth disease in human. True or false? Yes, it is true. So this is usually in children. So it's called the slap disease or fifth disease, where there is a rashes on the cheek of the kid or the children if they have this parvoviruses infection. 64. Which virus may play a role in MS, multiple sclerosis? ASV1, VZV3, EBV5, HHV6, HHV8. So you have to learn about the human herpes virus over here. There are 8 types of them. Which one have a play in the role for multiple sclerosis, in trigger the multiple sclerosis in human? Choose your answer. Yes, the answer is human herpes viruses number 6. This is the one that trigger the MS, multiple sclerosis, one of the autoimmune disease in human. Number 65. Which virus may play a role in Kaposi sarcoma on AIDS patients? ASV1, VZV3, EBV5, HHV6, or HHV8? Choose your answer. Yes, HHV number 8, the last type of human herpes virus. This is a typical virus that can trigger Kaposi sarcoma, which is kind of skin cancer on AIDS patient, and this is usually used as the determination of AIDS symptom. Okay? So if they do have Kaposi sarcoma, it means that this AIDS patient actually have the human herpes virus number 8. Okay, 66, fill in the blank. The two hepatitis viruses that are generally acquired in similar manner, like sexual transmission, blood transfusion, needle sharings, are blah and blah. Choose your answer. Remember, there are several types of hepatitis virus. The answer will be B and C. Hepatitis B and hepatitis C, they are transferred in a similar manner. Blood transfusion, sexual transmission, or needle sharing. The other one, hepatitis A, is through the oral. The oral transmission, like for example from drinking water or from contaminated food. But B and C, Hep B and Hep C, they are transferred very similar through sexuals and blood. But remember, hepatitis B is a DNA viruses, while hepatitis C is RNA viruses. So based on the type of DNA or RNA, or nucleic acid, then B is a DNA and C is RNA. How about A? A is also RNA viruses. 67. Which of the following is not used for herpes simplex virus 1 and herpes simplex virus 2 treatment? Which one is not? A. Varaclovir, aciclovir, famciclovir, interferon, or Zovirax? Choose your answer. The answer is interferon. Interferon is not used for treatment for herpes viruses. Okay, especially herpes simplex 1 and herpes simplex virus number 2. Usually, this disease, using treatment that end with flir, varaclovir, aciclovir, famciclovir, Zovirax, this virus is also used for herpes simplex viruses or infection, herpes infection, not interferon. So the answer is interferon. 68. Which of the following is correct about cytomegaloviruses? A. Among the most common of human infection, can be transmitted by saliva, respiratory mucus, urine, and semen. C. Commonly carried in the latent state. D. Can be sexually transmitted. And E. All the above choices are correct. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer is E. So all above characteristics are correct for cytomegaloviruses. This is one of the most common human infection. Can be transmitted through the mucus, saliva, urine, semen. Commonly carried in the latent stage is mean that stay in our body in a dormant condition and can be sexually transmitted too. 69. Which of the following virus is the primary cause of morbidity and mortality from diarrhea worldwide? Rhinovirus, rotaviruses, caliciviruses, polioviruses, and hepatitis A virus. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer is rotaviruses. This is the primary cause of morbidity. Morbidity means sickness, illness. Mortality means death, causing illness and mortality from diarrhea, which is rotaviruses. So this rotavirus mostly GI tract infection. 70. Which of the following is not true about West Nile viruses? A. It is arboviruses. It is transmitted by mosquito vector. It is typically a flu-like illnesses. About 80% infection have no symptom. It causes hemorrhagic fever. Choose your answer. The answer is it is not causing hemorrhagic fever. It is not true. So West Nile viruses will not causing hemorrhagic fever. Usually hemorrhagic fever caused by Bunia viruses, Arena viruses, Ebola viruses, dengue fever, which is fluffy viruses, but not West Nile viruses. And West Nile viruses, they are carried by mosquito. Therefore, they are arboviruses. Arbo means arthropod-borne viruses. They are transferred by vector. And the vector that used for West Nile virus is mosquito. Okay? 71. Which of the following is true about measles? It is also known as rubeola. Koplik spot appearance before rash, the most contagious infection disease, human aerosol reservoir, and E. All the above choices are correct. Choose your answer. The answer is E. So all the above is actually characteristic of measles. Measles is also known as rubeola, and this is one of the most contagious infectious disease. Measles is number one. It is very, very, very contagious. And also for the sign of the infection of measles is there is a Koplik spot in the mouth. Kind of spot, rhesus spot in the mouth, a very specific type of spot. So this is sign of measles infection. Which of the following is correct about poliomyelitis? This is number 72. It is primarily transmitted by fecal contaminated water. It is mostly asymptomatic or mild with headache, sore throat, and nausea. If they enter the central nervous system, motor neuron can be infected and destroyed. D. Vaccine is available for this polio. And E. All the above choices are correct. Choose your answer. Yes, the answer is all the above choices are correct. So poliomyelitis mostly transferred by contaminated water. So this is oral transfer of transmission of viruses. And it's mostly asymptomatic. So mostly 80% someone that have polioviruses in their system, in their stomach, in the intestine, they usually will not give any sign or symptom. It is asymptomatic. But about 2% or 5%, if they enter into nervous system, crossing the GI tract, enter into the nervous system, then it is the problem. Okay, 2 to 5% the problem is when this virus enter the nervous system. They can destroy the motor neuron, especially motor neuron that control the muscle of lower part of the body, right? The one that control the leg. And what happened? People that have poliomyelitis, usually their leg becomes small and they are unable to move their legs. Paralyzed. Paralyzed because the motor neuron are destroyed. So the muscle cannot be moved. Cannot move. But vaccine is available. Just for information, poliomyelitis is one of the disease that is expected to be eradicated using this vaccination. The one that's already eradicated is the smallpox. 73. Which area has the largest number of people with HIV or AIDS? North America, South America, Southeast Asia, Caribbean, or Sub-Sahara Africa? If you study and if you watch the video, then it is mentioned that Sub-Sahara Africa is the place where the most people that have HIV and AIDS infection, compared to other area. Number 74. Fifth disease is caused by variovirus, rotaviruses, parvovirus B19, flaviviruses, hepatinaviruses. Choose your answer. Yeah, we did already mention about this, which is parvoviruses causing fifth disease or slap disease. Okay, so especially for kids or children. So the kid that have these parvoviruses, their cheek will be reddish color, like he or she just get slapped from an adult. Okay, so therefore it's called the fifth disease or slap disease. Okay. 75. Hydrophobia, the dumb face, negri bodies in nervous system are sign and symptom of dengue fever, Norwalk virus, poliomyelitis, Ebola, or rabies. Choose your answer. Yes, it's gonna be rabies. So someone that have rabies, they the next stage after nausea, vomiting will be hydrophobia, which is they fear of water. They fear of water, and it will be continue to dumb face or even coma or death. So this is several sign and symptom of rabies. 76. Coronaviruses can cause SARS, MERS, COVID-19. All the above choices are correct. All the above choices are incorrect. Choose your answer. Yes, should be D. All the above choices are correct. So coronavirus can cause SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome. This is the pandemic in 2002. It can also causing MERS, okay, Middle East respiratory syndrome. This is pandemic, but mostly in the Middle East area. Okay, COVID-19, yes, and this is the new type of coronavirus infection worldwide, and this is, the most right now is the most pandemic type of disease. All area of this earth is actually have COVID-19 infection, and all of them are caused by a group of virus called the coronaviruses, which is a type of RNA viruses. Okay, non-segmented RNA viruses. Okay, learns about virus. Okay, chapter 25 for this one, RNA viruses. Number 77. Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is SARS, MERS, COVID-19, mad cow disease, a spongiform encephalopathy of human, or sometimes it's called the TSE, a transmissible spongiform encephalopathy. Choose your answer. Yeah, the answer will be E, which is the spongiform encephalopathy of humans, or TSE. So Creutzfeldt-Jakob is special disease that is actually caused by prions. So prion is misfolded protein that cause infection in human brain. So this is brain. Encephalopathy means brain tissue. Encephalopathy causing the brain tissue damage. And then this disease in human has special name. It's called the Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. 78. Which of the following is sign and symptom of smallpox? So this is DNA viruses. Chapter 24. Fever, malaise, rash, shock, and toxemia. All the above choices are incorrect. So the answer is all the above choices are correct. So E over there is not correct. So I made a mistake. So you should erase in over there. So E, all the above choices are correct. So smallpox can cause the above sign and symptom: fever, malaise, rash, shock, and toxemia. And again, 80% of people that infected by smallpox, they will die. Right? The mortality rate about 80%. So it's very high mortality rate. But the good thing that the smallpox, it has been, eradicated by the worldwide vaccinations effort by the World Health Organization, WHO. 79. Virus that dependent on another virus to replicate is called prion, herpes viruses, pox virus, rhabdovirus, or satellite virus. Choose your answer. It should be satellite viruses. So satellite virus is the virus that cannot replicate without other virus present. Okay. 80. Misfolded protein that can cause infection in human, Creutzfeldt-Jakob syndrome or TSE, is called prion, herpes virus, pox virus, rhabdovirus, satellite virus. Choose your answer. Yes, we already mentioned about this. This is prions. Okay? Prion is misfolded protein that can damage human brain. Okay? And the way they transmit it usually by eating the contaminated brain tissue of animal. So the only way to avoid this is by avoiding eating the contaminated brain of animal. Do not eat, for example, brain of cow that have a mad cow disease, because that can be transferred to human brain to us. Okay, now the last group of questions will be matching. Matching. Left side is the name of the disease, and the right side is the name of the pathogens, the microorganism that can cause disease on the left side. Okay, now 81, Ebola. Which one causing the Ebola? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Ebola is caused by, look for filoviruses. Okay, filoviruses is the one that causing Ebola. So it's going to be H. H. Ebola is caused by filoviruses, so cross filoviruses. Now, Burkitt lymphoma. Remember, this is a cancer that triggered by, it's going to be EBV. Look for the EBV, Epstein-Barr viruses. So I going to be the answer. Okay, I, Epstein-Barr viruses. Cross that because you already use it. And then hepatitis B. What is the name of virus that causing hepatitis B? Yes, it's called hepatnaviruses. So hepa means liver, DNA viruses. So this is hepatitis B is actually caused by the DNA viruses. So the name is telling you hepa-DNA viruses, liver DNA viruses. So hepatnaviruses, which is hepatitis B viruses. Cross that D. Okay, shingles. Shingles. Yes, shingle is caused by the same virus that causing chickenpox. So it's going to be VZV. Okay, varicella zoster virus number 3, VZV. Varicella is chickenpox. Zoster is shingle. So the same virus causing two type of infection: shingle during young age and zoster during older age. Cross that E. Influenza is flu viruses. Which one? Oh yeah, gonna be orthomyxoviruses, the one that causing influenza or flu. B. So cross B. And then severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS. We just finished with this one. It's gonna be coronavirus, which is A. Then choose A and cross A because you already use it. Rabies. What is the name of virus that causing rabies? Yes, it's called rhabdoviruses, which is the virus that look like a bullet. So look like a bullet. Rhabdo mean bullet, so rhabdoviruses. J, we finish with J. Ocular and labial herpes. So this herpes type of infection will be around the face. So it's gonna be caused by number 1, okay, which is herpes simplex virus number 1. Number 2 is the one that causing infection in the genital area. So F will be the answer for ocular and labial herpes, which is herpes simplex virus number 1. Cross that. Poliomyelitis. What is the name of the virus? It's called polioviruses, but it is in the group of picorna virus. So the answer will be C, which is picorna viruses. And the last one should be dengue fever is caused by flaviviruses. And flaviviruses is also the one that causing Zika. Zika infection or disease. And flavivirus also the one that causing the hepatitis C, C viruses, flaviviruses, hepatitis C. So the answer will be flaviviruses, which is G, and we cross G. I think that's all for this exercise for exam number 2. Again, please follow the instruction in order to get the best result of this exercise. If you have the best result, then very likely you will get also a very good result on your exam number 2. So therefore, I would say study and good luck and goodbye now. Thank you.